There comes a point in every person's life when they begin to notice the invisible rules that shape the world around them. Rules that were never formally taught, yet somehow everyone seems to follow. Rules that dictate how you should behave, how you should speak, what you should believe, and even how much of yourself you're allowed to show. These unwritten laws move quietly beneath the surface, but they influence everything: your relationships, your career, your confidence, and the way people treat you. Most people never question these rules. They accept them, they conform to them, and eventually they become defined by them. But Machiavelli, one of history's most misunderstood philosophers, saw something different. He understood that society does not function on fairness, harmony, or mutual respect. It functions on perception, on subtle exchanges of influence and quiet power dynamics that most people never consciously see, yet always feel in their bones. And when you start paying attention, you begin to realize that many of society's rules were not created to empower you, but to manage you, to keep you predictable, to keep you compliant, to keep you aligned with expectations that benefit everyone but yourself. This is why so many people live in a state of quiet frustration. They follow the rules, but never get the results they want. They try to be agreeable and get overlooked. They try to be humble and get underestimated. They try to be kind and are taken advantage of. Machiavelli's writings reveal a truth many people instinctively sense, but rarely admit. Those who blindly obey society's unspoken rules almost never rise above them. There is a different path, a more honest, conscious path. A path where you observe the world as it truly is, not as you wish it were. A path where you stop playing the role society assigned to you and begin deliberately shaping the role that reflects your deeper nature. A path where breaking certain rules doesn't make you cruel or immoral. It makes you free. Free from the need for approval. Free from the pressure to fit in. Free from the silent expectations that have quietly controlled you for years. In today's video, we explore 7 of the most dangerous societal rules you were taught to follow, and why Machiavelli, with his sharp understanding of human behavior, would urge you to break them if you want a life of clarity, confidence, and inner power. These lessons are not about manipulation. They are about awareness. They are about autonomy. They are about reclaiming the quiet strength that belongs to you. Let's begin. Number 1, always be nice. Society teaches that constant politeness is a virtue, a sign of good character, and the mark of someone who is easy to get along with. From childhood, you're told to smile, to agree, to avoid conflict, and to always place harmony above your own discomfort. But Machiavelli understood something most people overlook. There is a hidden danger in being endlessly pleasant. People exploit what they perceive as unlimited compliance. When others learn that your default response is yes, they begin to treat your time, energy, and emotional space as resources they can withdraw from without limit. Kindness becomes a signal not of strength, but of availability, an invitation for manipulation by those who recognize softness as opportunity. Being kind is noble. Being unable to say no is harmful. There is nothing virtuous about sacrificing your well-being to maintain an image of politeness that benefits everyone but you. The world quietly rewards those who understand boundaries, even if society claims otherwise. Forced niceness creates silent resentment, internal fatigue, and a diluted sense of self. Every time you agree when you don't want to, a part of you erodes. Every time you smile to avoid confrontation, Your identity becomes a little more shaped by others and a little less rooted in your own will. Machiavelli would advise a different approach. Break the rule of forced niceness and replace it with selective kindness rooted in boundaries. Selective kindness isn't cruelty, it's discernment. It means choosing when to give, when to hold back, and when to protect your inner resources. It means valuing your time as much as you've been conditioned to value everyone else's. It means offering warmth only where it will be respected, not extracted. When you practice selective kindness, people begin to recognize that your attention is not free, your energy is not endless, and your cooperation is earned, not assumed. You transform from someone who is easily used into someone who is quietly respected. And in that shift, something powerful happens. Your interactions become more genuine, your relationships become more balanced, and your sense of self becomes stronger. True kindness shines brighter when it is intentional, not automatic. Boundaries don't diminish your character, they refine it. Machiavelli's lesson is simple but profound. Let your kindness be a choice, not a compulsion. Number 2, be an open book. You are encouraged to share everything, but emotional transparency is often misused against you. In today's world, people are taught to equate openness with authenticity, as if revealing every detail of your inner life automatically makes you honest, trustworthy, or real. But Machiavelli understood something far more subtle. The more people know about your emotions, your fears, your motives, and your dreams, the more they can predict you, and the more easily they can influence you. Most individuals assume others will treat their vulnerability with care, but real life teaches a different lesson. Humans are driven by self-interest even when they don't admit it. And information, especially emotional information, is a form of currency. This is why Machiavelli emphasized controlled disclosure, not secrecy, discernment. A person who is always silent raises suspicion. A person who overshares invites manipulation. But the individual who reveals selectively, intentionally, and strategically maintains both trust and power. People feel close to them without ever truly holding leverage over them. Emotional discipline is not coldness, it is clarity. It is the wisdom to understand that your internal world is sacred terrain. Your thoughts, your fears, your insecurities, your hopes, and your interpretations of events. These form the blueprint of your psychological architecture. Handing that blueprint to the wrong person is like placing your defenses into the hands of a potential enemy. So keep your internal world yours. You do not owe anyone full access to your mind. You do not owe constant explanations for what you feel. You do not owe your vulnerability simply because someone asked for it. Reveal with intention, not obligation. Share in moments where trust is proven, not assumed. Speak when your words serve a purpose, not when silence would protect your peace. When you master this art, you become unpredictable, not because you are hiding, but because you are sovereign. People can guess, but they cannot be certain. They can sense your depth, but they cannot reach the bottom of it. This is the quiet advantage of Machiavellian discernment. You remain open enough to connect, yet guarded enough to stay free. Your emotions become a resource that you manage, not a weapon others can use. And in that balance, you reclaim the rarest form of power, the power of being inwardly untouchable. Number 3, avoid conflict at all costs. Many believe peace is the absence of tension, a silent room where no voices rise, no emotions spill over, and no disagreements disturb the surface. But Machiavelli understood something far deeper. True peace is not found in the disappearance of tension, but in the presence of clarity. It is the clarity that comes from knowing where you stand, what you value, and what you will not allow. The world teaches you to stay quiet, to avoid discomfort, and to maintain a smooth appearance, even if something inside you is breaking. But this kind of peace is fragile, artificial, and ultimately dangerous, because avoiding conflict does not resolve anything. It simply suppresses it. And what is suppressed does not disappear. It waits. It accumulates. It shifts into resentment, frustration, and silent power imbalances that grow beneath the surface. When you refuse to speak, someone else decides the rules. When you avoid expressing your boundaries, someone else redraws them for you. When you hide your discomfort, others assume you have none. This is how people lose themselves, one unspoken moment at a time. Machiavelli believed that clarity is the foundation of stability, and sometimes clarity only arrives through confrontation. Not a loud, emotional confrontation, not chaos or aggression, but calm confrontation. The steady, grounded willingness to address what is wrong before it grows into something unmanageable. Calm confrontation is a rare skill. It requires the strength to hold your ground without becoming reactive, the discipline to express truth without attacking, and the wisdom to know that discomfort today prevents destruction tomorrow. When you respect yourself enough to speak up, the balance of power shifts. People begin to understand your boundaries. Relationships become cleaner, more honest, and more aligned. You stop living in quiet resentment and start living in intentional self-respect. Breaking this rule is not about seeking conflict. It is about no longer fearing it. It is about choosing growth over silence, truth over pretense, and clarity over false peace. Because the moment you embrace calm confrontation, you reclaim your autonomy. You stop allowing hidden tensions to poison your inner world. You become someone who does not avoid life's difficult moments, but transforms them into opportunities for understanding, strength, and genuine peace. The kind Machiavelli knew was built not on the absence of tension, but on the bold presence of clarity. Number 4, follow the crowd to stay safe. Conformity offers comfort but suppresses individuality, creating an illusion of safety that slowly erodes the sharpness of your inner world. Most people follow the crowd not because they agree, but because they fear standing alone. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He saw that society rewards those who blend in, but only temporarily. In the long term, it is the independent thinkers, the ones who quietly question, privately analyze, and internally resist, who rise above the masses. These individuals do not rebel loudly or dramatically. Their strength is subtle. Their rebellion begins in the mind, long before it ever shows in their actions. Machiavelli observed that those who rise are those who can think independently, even quietly, because independent thought becomes a compass that is not swayed by popular opinions or emotional noise. When you discipline your mind to form its own judgments, you become less vulnerable to manipulation, less dependent on validation, and less likely to be controlled by the collective's shifting moods. People who rely solely on the crowd for their opinions eventually lose the ability to hear their own voice. And once a person can no longer hear themselves, they become easy to predict and therefore easy to control. Breaking this rule does not require you to become a public rebel or a loud dissenter. In fact, the quietest form of independence is often the most powerful. You break this rule by practicing private, independent thought, even if publicly silent. It is the art of thinking deeply without always speaking. It is observing without rushing to judgment, questioning without announcing your doubts, and forming conclusions without needing external confirmation. This habit creates an inner world no one else can penetrate. In a society driven by trends, outrage, and herd mentality, your private thoughts become your sanctuary, your strategic advantage. You can agree outwardly when necessary, but you never surrender your internal clarity. You speak less, but you understand more. You appear calm, but you are constantly analyzing. You seem compliant, but your mind remains free. Over time, this inner autonomy compounds into wisdom, confidence, and quiet influence. The world follows the loud voices, but it is shaped by the silent thinkers. By mastering the discipline of private, independent thought, you step outside the grip of conformity and into the realm of self-possession, a place where your decisions are intentional, your actions deliberate, and your path uniquely your own. Number 5, don't make yourself a priority. Self-neglect is often disguised as humility. People will applaud you for giving until you're empty. They will praise your gentleness while quietly benefiting from your silence. And they will call you a good person, even as you slowly disappear beneath the weight of everyone else's demands. In society, self-sacrifice is romanticized, but only when it serves the needs of others. Machiavelli, with his cold realism and unflinching honesty, understood a truth that most are afraid to accept. If you do not protect your interests, someone else will shape them for you. He believed that before you can serve, help, or uplift anyone, you must secure your own foundation, not out of selfishness, but out of wisdom. Break this societal rule by honoring your time, energy, and emotional bandwidth. For many people, the deepest wound is not what others took from them, but what they permitted to be taken. Self-neglect often hides beneath phrases like, "It's okay, I don't mind," or "I'll help even if I'm tired," or "They need me." But the body remembers the exhaustion, the mind remembers the overwhelm, and the spirit remembers the quiet resentment. There is nothing noble about abandoning yourself. True humility is not erasing your needs. It is acknowledging them without shame. Every moment of your life is an investment, and every person you interact with extracts a cost in time, energy, or attention. When you do not track the expense, you become indebted to people who never repay, never notice, and never stop taking. Machiavelli warned that leaders collapse not from external enemies, but from internal mismanagement. The same applies to your life. Protect your boundaries as a ruler protects a kingdom. Guard your mental clarity as a strategist guards his maps. And value your emotional energy as a merchant values gold. You are not required to be endlessly available. You are not required to be the strong one for everyone else. And you are not required to break yourself to keep the peace. The world may call this selfish. Machiavelli would call it intelligent. Because when you honor your time, your energy, and your emotional bandwidth, you do not become harder. You become clearer. You do not become colder. You become grounded. And only from that grounded inner strength can you offer anything real, anything stable, or anything meaningful to others. Protect yourself first, not as an act of rebellion, but as an act of respect. Number 6, never challenge authority. Authority is not always competence. Machiavelli understood that the world often confuses the two because people trust appearances more than substance. A confident voice, a polished title, or a controlled environment can make someone seem capable, even when they are deeply unqualified. Power, he observed, is frequently maintained through perception, not merit. People follow what looks stable, what feels decisive, and what appears to be in control. That is why so many systems, workplaces, and even relationships can be quietly ruled by individuals who are more skilled at managing impressions than mastering reality. To protect yourself psychologically, you must break this rule internally first. That means refusing to surrender your mind to the illusion of authority. When someone speaks with certainty, ask yourself, does what they say actually make sense? When a system demands blind obedience, ask, who benefits from my compliance and who suffers? When a belief is repeated so often it feels normal, pause and trace its origin. Critical thinking is not rebellion for the sake of drama. It is self-respect at the level of thought. It is the silent act of reclaiming your ability to evaluate, rather than just absorb. Machiavelli would tell you, learn to see the difference between the cloak and the figure wearing it. Question, analyze, and test ideas against evidence and lived reality. Do not mistake charisma for wisdom, confidence for truth, or status for integrity. The more you train this inner scrutiny, the harder it becomes for false authority, whether in society, media, or your personal life, to quietly occupy your mind. You will still navigate power structures, but you will no longer be subconsciously ruled by them. Number 7, be predictable to be accepted. Predictability makes you easy to understand and easy to control. When people can read you like an open book, they can anticipate your moves, influence your reactions, and shape your choices to their advantage. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He valued subtle unpredictability, not chaos, not impulsiveness, but the quiet ability to move outside the expectations others place on you. Subtle unpredictability is a form of strategic autonomy. It teaches people that they cannot map your every step or depend on your routines for leverage. To break this invisible societal rule, you don't need to become erratic or dramatic. Instead, introduce calm variation into your habits, your responses, and your decisions. Change your schedule slightly. Say no where you used to automatically say yes. Take a different route. Choose a different approach, or pause before responding where you once reacted immediately. These small shifts create a gentle unpredictability that protects your inner freedom. People begin to realize they cannot predict you and therefore they cannot control you. This doesn't just increase your personal power, it restores your inner sovereignty. You become someone who thinks, chooses, and moves on your own terms, quietly commanding respect without ever raising your voice. You were never meant to live according to unwritten rules that weaken you. Breaking these 7 patterns does not make you rebellious. It makes you conscious. It allows you to move through the world with the quiet clarity Machiavelli believed was essential for true personal power. Walk your path gently, but never blindly.